As the two U.S. Senators John Cornyn and Mark Warner have moved amendments to increase cooperation with India in the field of fifth-generation fighters, few experts have expressed concern that India should not buy the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, as India does not have the right support systems and funds to effectively use the F-35. The main issues mentioned with the F-35 is its high operating cost, logistics and performance problems, and the fact that stealth fighters can now be detected on X-band targeting radars and infrared search and track systems. The base price of the F-35 is $90 million, and India-specific upgrade will add to its cost like the 36 Rafale fighters. The US will also force India to buy its weapons package rather than integrate an Indian system, and the work would have to be done in the United States, as the US is unlikely to give integration codes to India. Ex-Indian Air Force pilots have also said that India must move towards having fighter jets from fewer nations while introducing indigenous fighters, and adding an American fighter will just add to the existing problems of the Indian Air Force. India has already backed out of the Indo-Russian joint venture to develop the FGFA, and it is to be noted that the chairman of Hindustan Aeronautics had said last week that the first flight of AMCA will be conducted by 2028, with low-rate production to begin in 2035, which means that India will not field a fifth-generation fighter and will have a capability gap for the next 15 years, at a time when the air forces of France, Germany, Spain, Sweden, Britain and China would start operating their sixth-generation fighters. The first batch of 50 pre-production Astra Mark 1 has been delivered for the Su-30 fighter jets of the Indian Air Force, and after the new order of 248 Astra Mark 1 air-to-air systems for Su-30 fighter jets, the Mig-29UPG and Mig-29K fighters are next in line to be integrated with the Astra Mark 1. The Indian Air Force will start receiving 200 Astra Mark 1 systems for its Mig-29UPG and Su-30 fleet from 2021 with two different seekers. The Indian Navy's Mig-29K will also get 48 Astra systems to supplement the Russian R-77. Boeing officials have said that the company is seeking clearance from the US government to make a formal offer of the F-15EX fighter jet to the Indian Air Force. But before Boeing goes with the offer, the company has also sought more clarity on the requirement of the Indian Air Force, especially after the Chief of Defense Staff had recently weighed in on the burden of big acquisitions. Boeing already outsources the manufacture of certain F-15 parts to India, and the Indian firms that make parts for F-15 include Roseltec Systems and Sasmos Technologies Limited. It is said that the F-15 was finally brought to the table after Russia pitched its Su-35 in the 114 fighter jets tender. Japan has announced to expand cooperation in sharing defense intelligence with UK, Australia and India, which will broaden the scope to include intelligence exchanges with countries beyond the US, thus facilitating joint exercises and more joint ventures for developing defense equipment with these countries. There are a number of areas where joint collaboration between India and Japan can be a win-win for the countries, which includes development of XF-9 engine derivative for India's AMCA fighter jet. Apart from sharing data on Chinese submarine movement, the new revised law will allow Japan to exercise the right to collective self-defense and supply fuel and ammunition to other militaries in situations that pose a threat to Japan.